stepping into the universe. Who wouldn't think, wow, I've finally escaped that cramped little Earth. Out here, I can really enjoy the atmosphere. Wait, scratch that. I mean, enjoy the complete lack of atmosphere. But that excitement gets snuffed out real quick by one bone-chilling fact. Space is not a playground for curious humans, and sometimes poking your nose where it doesn't belong just leads to nightmares in the pitch-black void of space. With the mechanical clatter echoing in your helmet and your breath fogging up the visor, suddenly there's a noise, a tiny one, but just enough to make you question your own ears. A sound that doesn't belong to anything human. A darkness that doesn't wait for you to get comfortable. And that's when the alien appears, no warning, no mercy, not a single sliver of hope to escape. Back in the late 70s, when movies were still giddy about adorable robots and friendly aliens, director Ridley Scott decided to crash the party with a creature so horrifying you'd want to run home and cry into your mother's pillow. The Xenomorph. A grotesque masterpiece by artist H.R. Giger, where primal fear and twisted technology merged into something not even your worst nightmares could cook up. From the very moment the Nostromo echoes with that first gut-wrenching scream, alien plants a not-so-comforting question in your mind. Out there in the universe, is the scariest thing really the alien? Or is it our own human frailty when faced with the unknown? If we're talking about creatures that can make humans freak out with nothing but a single glance, then the Xenomorph deserves a Lifetime Achievement Award for Miss Nightmare of all time. At first sight, it looks like nothing that's ever graced the silver screen. No eyes, no nose, that long, glossy head that seems like it just rolled out of a factory assembly line, and drool dripping everywhere like it just failed the world's sourest lemon challenge. But it's precisely this half-machine, half-flesh appearance that taps straight into our deepest human fears, the unknown, the unknowable, and, above all, the undialogable. Honestly, has there ever been a movie creature designed with such deliberate disrespect for human comfort? The outer jaw is razor-sharp, but hidden inside is a second set of teeth, ready to knock out any hero with a surprise chomp. H.R. Giger, the father of the Xenomorph, didn't hesitate to graft onto it every single detail guaranteed to send shivers down the human spine, from parasite-like biology to unsettling nods toward reproduction, invasion, and even the blurred boundary between machine and flesh. This is no longer just a creature, it's primal fear sculpted into shape, gleaming with a kind of pure, aesthetic horror. That's why the alien isn't just another alien monster trotted out to scare the audience like in old-school monster movies. It's the sum total of every fear humanity has ever carried, from the darkness of the cave to the cold steel of the spaceship. Fear of the dark. Fear of being hunted. Fear of the uncontrollable. Fear of something that can invade and can't be understood, or bargained with. Compared to other famous monsters in pop culture, Godzilla, huge but oddly gentle. Predator, at least it has a code. Or zombies, slowly shambling their way to defeat. The Xenomorph is the embodiment of ruthless perfection, beautiful in a strange, hypnotic way. But a beauty that only makes it more alien, and deadlier, than ever. If you think just laying eyes on a Xenomorph is enough to send you running for cover, well, sorry to break it to you, but that's just the appetizer in the Alien franchise's nightmare buffet. Because even scarier than that grotesque exterior is the creature's disturbingly twisted life cycle, a masterpiece of pure horror where every single stage seems engineered to unlock a new level of fear. As if Ridley Scott and H.R. Giger sat down together and asked, so, how do we make sure the audience never sleeps well again? It all begins, coldly and quietly, with those alien eggs, slimy biological pods that look both ancient and utterly alien. Forget any animal eggs you've seen on Earth, these are thick and rubbery, glossy as oil, sheathed in a shimmering biological membrane that glistens in the dark. One accidental nudge and you'll want to take a giant step back. Look closer. And you'll see the surface isn't smooth at all, it's a tangled weave of sinewy biological fibers. Each strand capable of stretching and self-repairing if torn, making the eggs nearly invincible against the harshness of space. Deep inside, there's an incubation chamber, maintaining a stable temperature and max humidity. Like some kind of pre-programmed life support pod. Patiently nurturing whatever's inside for the big reveal. The real kicker, though, is the egg's eerily precise sensory mechanism. Alien eggs come wired with nerve-like sensors along the outer membrane, letting them hibernate for centuries but spring awake at the slightest change in temperature or the tiniest biological movement nearby. No one really knows how long they've been waiting on some desolate planet, just that when one unlucky soul finally stumbles past, the whole biomachine instantly comes to life. In a split second, powerful muscle fibers contract, and the top of the egg peels open like 4 grotesque petals, revealing a glistening, slimy shadow within, and that's the exact moment when the true nightmare begins. In the blink of an eye, the egg's slimy membrane splits open, and the bizarre creature inside launches itself out with a speed that makes you seriously question whether the laws of physics are just optional in this universe. The structure of the facehugger is a sculpture with one sole purpose, to latch onto your face. Its body is slender, disturbingly flexible, cloaked in a semi-translucent skin, and every detail is optimized for that one fateful leap. 8 long, agile legs, each joint sturdy and precise, move with a cold, natural perfection, one grip, and all hope of struggling free is locked down. The tail is brutally strong, coiling around the victim's neck like a friendly noose, squeezing just tightly enough to make sure no one accidentally drops the host mid-parasite implantation. But the most haunting part is the facehugger's twisted version of life support. It keeps the host alive, quietly pumping a tiny seed of new life down the throat, a gift no one would ever want to receive. It clamps onto the face, inserts its proboscis straight into the airway, and secretes a numbing mucus that paralyzes the facial nerves completely, leaving the victim fully aware but utterly unable to fight back. This is the moment of absolute human helplessness, knowing exactly what's happening, yet being forced to surrender to a merciless alien invader. Only when its egg delivery mission is complete does the facehugger release its grip, its body curling up, shriveling away, as if it existed for no other reason than to die the moment it seeded terror into some poor, unlucky soul. And the worst part? When the facehugger finally disappears, the nightmare is far from over, because now, the alien embryo has already begun to grow deep inside its new host. And then, just when it seems like everything is back to normal, when the victim wakes up from their haze, face intact, not a trace of alien clinginess left on their skin, that's exactly when the true nightmare quietly begins. Deep inside the chest, something is growing, slowly gnawing at every cell as if the human body were nothing but a pre-programmed mobile incubator in the grand opera of horror. The chest burster, the darling child of pure terror, develops at breakneck speed in the warm comfort of a human rib cage, every heartbeat of the host pounding like a drum roll for its arrival. Nothing can prepare you for that sensation, the tightness, the shortness of breath, the creeping sense that something strange is just itching to break free at any moment. And then, the infamous moment comes, no warning, no polite excuse me. The chest burster rips through the rib cage, shattering every limit of horror cinema with one explosive, blood-soaked emergence, and a scream that gets strangled somewhere between the lungs and the void. Small, shiny, with that signature elongated head, a miniature version of its fully grown xenomorph parent, the chestburster slithers across the dinner table in a mad dash, leaving behind a work of brutal realism that turns even the bravest audience to stone, or just to retching, unable to stomach the grotesque spectacle. It's a moment both savage and merciless, a birth with zero humanity. No welcoming arms, just blood and the promise of death. And in a blink, the chest burster vanishes into the shadows, leaving behind the room thick with the scent of mortality. And the chilling, unspoken question, how many nightmares still lie in wait beyond this one? And then, as if nightmares have their own evolutionary rules, the chest burster grows at a terrifying pace, minute by minute, hour by hour, shedding skin, reshaping, new layers of sinewy muscle erupting beneath slick, glistening flesh, until it becomes a fully formed hunting machine, the adult Xenomorph. And this is when the universe really starts to play hardball with the human psyche. The adult Xenomorph is a far cry from the awkward newborn. Its physique is powerful. Its movement as fluid and silent as darkness itself. That long, gleaming head devoid of eyes. And a mouth that's all lethal edges, plus a bonus set of hidden jaws. Ready to snap at anyone foolish enough to get too close. Every part of its biology is fine-tuned for one purpose, to stalk, to hide, and to strike with surgical precision. Its blood is pure acid, just a single drop can melt through the hull of a spaceship. Its armored hide is thick and flexible, able to shrug off regular gunfire. Its claws are razors. And its tail, sharp as a scythe, is ready to rip apart anything that gets in its way. The universe seems to have accidentally gifted the alien a level of adaptability and growth that blows past any boundary human imagination could ever hope to reach. Every time the alien gets a chance to parasitize a new host, it gives birth to a totally different variant, from the hulking warriors, to the lightning-fast runners that hunt like bloodthirsty hounds. Or even the infamous Predalien, a horrific mashup of predator and xenomorph traits. Each new form is an upgraded version of pure terror. But nothing compares to the Queen Alien, the ultimate icon of reproduction and control. With her massive frame, blade-sharp jaws, and the relentless ability to lay eggs like some cosmic nightmare factory with no off switch. Against the Queen, humanity isn't just a bunch of lone hunters or random victims, we become a carefully cultivated herd, bred to sustain an entire predatory ecosystem. And it doesn't stop there. In every new environment, the alien upgrades itself, installing new features as needed, sprouting spikes, growing wings, adapting to deep water, even tweaking its own genes to survive whatever bioweapons humans throw at it. Each variant cracks open a new chapter of horror for the universe, where every attempt at control ends in despair. And every effort to exterminate the aliens just gives evolution another opportunity to throw something nastier into the mix. You get the feeling the alien was born to mock every law of survival, because the harder we try to understand, the more we realize just how small, fragile, and powerless we are against this runaway train of evolution. Looking back at the haunted journey called Alien, it's clear that behind that slick, slimy shell and those razor-sharp teeth lies more than just a predator. It's a magnifying mirror, reflecting the simmering fears inside every human being. When confronted by the alien, we don't just fear being hunted, parasitized, or losing control over our bodies. We panic at the realization of our own helplessness, floating in the infinite void. Every time humanity tries to assert control, the universe serves up an even more terrifying mutation. As if to remind us, some things will always be beyond our understanding and control, no matter how advanced our technology or how unbreakable our will. Alien doesn't just spread the simple horror of a monster, it forces us to ask, is the truly terrifying thing that alien creature? Or is it our own frailty, our smallness, and our gnawing anxiety in the face of the inexplicable? That's when the universe transforms into a stage. And we're all reluctant spectators in a horrific play where, sometimes, the lead role is played by fear, not by hope. And yet, that's exactly why Alien has become an enduring icon, because every time we're afraid, we come to understand our own boundaries a little better. Maybe the most fascinating thing isn't the alien's relentless survival skills, but humanity's refusal to stop searching, exploring, and sometimes, willingly staring nightmares in the face, just to prove that even trembling, We're not content to just sit and wait for doom. So, when night falls and you find yourself in some silent, empty spaceship corridor, the only real question left echoing is that thing lurking out there really the alien? Or just an unnamed fear inside ourselves? And if you ever get lost in space, don't forget to pack a flashlight, and maybe a little sense of humor. Because who knows? The only thing that'll keep you alive might just be your ability to reassure yourself, everything's going to be fine. As long as I don't see any alien eggs at my feet.
Thank you.